I'm going to take a quick selfie because I do the social media thing. So, okay.
Awesome.
If you guys could like put your arms up or make it look exciting back there. Yay! Okay. And then if you want to pop the lights off just so it's easier to see. So thank you, Kippy. My name is Kaitlin Godbey. I do all of the social media for Travel Nevada, which is a sister agency to Nevada Magazine. And I am here to help all of you come into the world of social media. Kippy asked me to talk about how we can use these digital platforms to help you guys promote your own businesses or hobbies. And I was thinking about it, and a lot of times people still ask me what the deal is with Instagram. It's not as intuitive. And since we only have an hour, because really I could do like a 3-day seminar on how to use social media, so I really just want to dig into Instagram and make it a little less intimidating. So before we get started, I would love to see hands of people who are on Instagram and use it. Yay! That's so exciting. Okay, who has heard of Instagram but hasn't jumped on board yet? And who has no idea what I'm talking about? It's okay. Cool. Yay! That's awesome. All right, so my presentation says 10, but it's really 7. But I'm probably going to go off script a little bit too. But I'll just get into the meat of it. And I'm going to share this presentation. It's a PDF, so don't feel like you need to write everything down that's on there. I'm going to share it with you later. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to give an overview of how the hell to use Instagram, especially as photographers. I think a lot of people get caught up in using this as another way to show off your portfolio. It is not your portfolio. Now, it can be an enhancement to your portfolio, but think about it more as like a daily journal. It should really be used as a way to show what you're doing right now. You can post images that you would put up online, probably on your own website, but you can also do a lot of things that maybe a traditional portfolio wouldn't offer or wouldn't make sense to also showcase your creativity. Because I think all of us as photographers got into this field for a reason. We all like to be creative and see the beauty in the world. And Instagram is like the best platform because it's all about photography. Video too, but we're talking photos. And you can be a lot less formal. Number 2, when you are on Instagram, you know what? Let me back up, because there are people who said they know Instagram, but they haven't gone on board yet. So for those of you who haven't decided to join, I implore you, please make an account. Especially as a photographer, for 2 main reasons. Number 1, there's a whole bunch of people just like you in this room, all over the world, who are using Instagram to share their love for photography. So think of it as like a digital networking system. It's a really great way to collaborate online, to see what other people are doing, and specifically to see how other people are discovering your specific field of photography. If you're like Neil and you like to do light painting, you can reach out to people across the globe who are also excelling in light painting. So you do portraiture, same exact thing. Wedding photography, landscapes, the whole gamut. Say you're an amateur and you're just trying to figure it out, there's a place for you too. So unlike Facebook, where you have to really be connected to a person, you know, those friend requests, on Instagram you don't need to do that. So it makes it really easy just to connect with another human being without needing to formally know them, which can be really scary if you're not used to that. But Instagram is like it's like my happy place, especially in 2017. Like we're all like feeling 2017. And it's a really nice way to kind of, no matter what groups you are involved in online, you're gonna see political stuff. You're gonna see the news, you know, and things that are going on. That's not on Instagram. It's like light and fluffy and happy, and it's my happy place. So if anything else, if you like don't maybe want to totally disconnect from the world, but are sick of just like seeing one more political comment on whatever side of the spectrum you're on, go to Instagram. It's so nice there. It's a good spot. So Another thing to note, if you don't use Instagram already, it is mobile only. So unlike Facebook or Twitter or other social networks where you can log on using an actual computer, this is only an app. So whether you use an Android or an iPhone or any one of the other smartphones in between, it's a free app. You will find it in whatever app store you go to. It's just called Instagram. Download it, and then you can either log in via your Facebook profile, or if you don't use Facebook, Instagram is a really, really good social network to start out with if you don't use social media at all. Because once you get in there, it's pretty intuitive, but there are a lot of little hidden tips and tricks which I'm going to showcase today. And then you can also log in with just an email and password, so you don't have to have a Facebook to do it. If you do have a Facebook though, I would recommend logging in via Facebook, because then you can share your photos that you post on Instagram also to your Facebook profile. So that was a little rundown. Okay. So it's on your portfolio. Okay, and then once you have an Instagram account, I want you guys to really look at your bio. This is your quick snapshot on who you are and why people should be following you. Unlike Facebook, people do not friend you, they follow you, a lot like Twitter. And so in order to kind of grow your presence, you definitely want to make sure you are achieving new ways for people to not only find your content, but then follow you, because if they follow you, then they are choosing to see whatever images you post in their feed. So above all, there's a username. My username is @NevadaKate, but it's NV Kate. Oh, I want to pause too. In the Nevada Photographers Facebook group that we're all a part of, during Neil's presentation, I was slacking and multitasking, I guess. And I posted in the group, if you are on Instagram, to comment on that post, it should be the latest one in there, your own Instagram handle. So then we can all go in and follow each other. So my handle is NVKate, but I've pulled this screenshot, so we're going to pretend I'm Brandon. So you see that name on the very, I'm a very pretty Brandon, yeah. You see at the very top where it's Brandon Wolfel? That is his Instagram handle. And then below his photo, it says his name again. So my name, my Instagram handle is actually NVKate, but my name is Kaitlin Godbey. So at the very top it would say NVKate, and then underneath I would actually have my real name. So you don't have to use your real name as your handle, and then you can include your name below. Secondly, you want to tell people of the Instagram world what you're doing on there. A lot of people use Instagram for a lot of different things. Whether it's just to showcase photography as a hobby, maybe you're trying to grow your photography business, or maybe you have a side hustle. Or you're like me and just like to adventure and showcase your travels. People use Instagram for many different things, but probably the most of you in this room are using it to showcase your photography, so that's what we're going to talk about. So you want to let people know you're a photographer. Are you an aspiring photographer? Are you a professional photographer? Are you a self-proclaimed photographer? And then also, where do you live? I know that's a little scary for people, but it's nice to know even like a general location so people know where your kind of home base is. Because a lot of us as photographers, we tend to travel and post pictures from all over. So if you live in northern Nevada and maybe you live in Reno but you don't want to tell people you're Reno specific, you can say northern Nevada, you can say Nevada. Say the Silver State. There's a lot of different ways to kind of be ambiguous if you're worried about letting people know exactly where you are, but to still kind of give a reference point of where in the world you are, because there's a lot of us out there. You also want to make sure you want to give people a way to contact you. If you're using Instagram to further your business specifically, you want to entice them to contact you off of Instagram. So I would definitely recommend listing an email. You can, if you don't want to use your normal personal email, you can create a new email specifically for your Instagram followers. I've talked to a lot of people who have been photographers forever, and they are receiving the most business right now because of Instagram, which is crazy because it's free. And then you get one link. So if you do have a website, I would recommend linking there. Like Neil on his last slide, he had a SmugMug link. He might want to link it there. If you otherwise want people maybe not to see a portfolio, but to connect with you in another place, maybe it's LinkedIn, maybe it's your Twitter feed. Whatever makes the most sense for you, that's where you want to include that link. Does that make sense? Cool. Also, if you want other examples, literally just do a Google search of successful Instagram bios, and you'll see a bunch of different results. But I would definitely recommend to mirror it off of Travel Nevada's. That's the account I manage, and we're at Travel Nevada, and you'll kind of see we have it line by line. We say who we are, what we're doing, and how to contact us. Okay, hashtags. Raise your hand if you have no idea what the hell a hashtag is. Cool, I'm here for you. Okay, so for the people in the room who have no idea what a hashtag is, this is my attempt to explain it. There are two main ways to use hashtags. The first is kind of think of it as a filing system. So the hashtag is the £, and if I were to do it's almost lunch, and I just took that picture, that selfie, and maybe I wanted to post it and said something along the lines of, I'm excited to get this presentation over with because I'm really hungry and lunch is next. Hashtag, is it lunch yet? Hashtag, is it lunch yet? Okay? So in that scenario, I am using it to not really connect with other people who are also using the hashtag, is it lunch yet? I am using it as a way to emphasize a point. Because on social media, you can't really bold, you can't italicize, you can't underline. You can do all caps, but then all you're doing is like yelling at people. And so that is kind of a more evolution of where people use hashtags, and I think that's where people get confused. Because people will see all of these hashtags that don't really make sense, like hashtag, is it lunch yet? Now, if I were to do that photo, post it and say, I can't wait, I'm really excited to speak at the hashtag NVMag Focus Symposium. So Nevada Magazine's official hashtag is hashtag NVMag, short for NV Magazine. I am using that hashtag in hopes for other people who are interested in what Nevada Magazine is doing and people who are connecting to Nevada Magazine to see that. So whenever you use the £, and then a phrase, all of these different social networks create a hyperlink. And then it turns into a micro search page. So if I were to use hashtag NVMag, then Instagram would then enable for me to click on it, and I could see a full search results of anyone in the world who has a public-facing Instagram, which means your profile is not private, it has to be public in order for me to see it, of everyone else who is posting content using hashtag NVMag. And I'm going to show you a live example, because I'm a visual learner. Okay, so this is Travel Nevada's account. Our official hashtag is DFMI, which stands for Don't Fence Me In. Have you guys seen our ad?
Yep.
Yay!
Love it.
If you haven't, we teamed up with the Killers and they did a cover of the Cole Porter song, Don't Fence Me In, and that is the soundtrack of our campaign. It's really turned less into the song itself, and really, I always like to say, Don't Fence Me In is more than a song, it's a Nevada state of mind. And so we use hashtag DFMI as our main hashtag. Do you see how it is actually a link? So if I click on that, it pulls up a new search result, and these are all photos that photographers on Instagram have used their own, that hashtag on their own photos. So this is a really great way for us as Travel Nevada to connect with people like you and like us who are probably also exploring the state and taking photos, and then I can connect with this person who's taking a photo of the space whale. And I'd have to be logged in, but I can say, hey, nice shot. So that's kind of hashtags in general. Does anyone have any questions on hashtags?
Yes.
Yes.
So, take your picture.
Via hashtag?
Going in there, can they save your photo and use your photo?
No.
No.
No. I mean,
Screenshot.
excuse my language, but they're shitty people. and they're going to steal your pictures, but using a hashtag does not enable them to take your photo or not. Some brands will encourage people to use a hashtag, like for example, Travel Nevada's hashtag is hashtag DFMI. So in order for me to see your content, because in all honesty, we're probably not following every single one of you in this room, but we want to be, but we don't know you exist yet. But if you start using our brand hashtag, hashtag DFMI, in your description on Instagram, then when we search that hashtag feed, we'll see you. And then we can reach out personally, because I am not in the business of stealing photos. And most reputable organizations are not. And then we'll specifically ask permission to share your photo. Is Lee in the room? I think I saw him. We just shared your photo.
What's that?
We just shared your photo a few days ago. And we commented and asked permission, correct? We did. We did. I'll show you. I was hoping you'd be like, oh yeah. I'll show you. I believe it's this picture, right? No? Differently. Okay. Differently. But for example, so I can go to his feed, and this was his original picture. And it's a great picture. And so we found it via the hashtag and posted, awesome shot, mind if we share? If you agree and you're 18 and over, please reply using hashtag YesNevada. And we specifically designated this because no one else is like randomly tagging their photos Yes Nevada, unless people are like, yes, Nevada! But it hasn't happened yet. And so then they can specifically reply using that hashtag, giving us permission, and then I will share it. There are apps on Instagram, it's called regramming, kind of like on Twitter. Are there any Twitter users in the room? Crickets. A little few. So if you want to share, or like on Instagram, if you share a post, on Twitter you retweet, and on Instagram there's no built-in way to share content. So there are third-party apps, it's called regramming, that then usually has a little icon at the bottom of like a they kind of stole the retweet graphic, and then will automatically include the handle. And so that's some ways people get around it, but more often than not, usability of hashtags is not to give permission for other people to share your photos. It's more so to connect with other people beyond a like topic. You had a question?
Well, where would you share that photo? Because it's on your page, right?
This was Lee Falmer shared it on his Instagram.
But it's showing up in your feed.
So then I saw it, and I was like, I think our Travel Nevada followers would love that picture. So then I specifically requested to share it, and then I reshared it on our own feed. Yeah.
So your followers cannot see what's showing up right here in your DFMI search?
DFMI is public. All Instagram hashtags are public. Here's another example. So we also sometimes use hashtag HowToNevada, because in the office we joke, especially for the places of, our primary goal is to get people off of the dang strip and into real Nevada. And a lot of people have no idea how to do that. Like, Kurt, where are you? Yeah, we were just joking, and then Neil confirmed it. If you go in the Black Rock Desert and you don't pop a tire, you're doing it wrong. You're not going far enough, and those roads are really rough. But a lot of people, especially like our more metropolitan city slickers, as they were, maybe don't know how to change a tire. So we really try to showcase Nevada is accessible. You just have to have the willingness to know how to go off-grid a little bit, which to a lot of us in this room seems silly. But a lot of people just aren't comfortable going off-roading, and they don't know how easy it is if they have the right supplies. So we started using the hashtag HowToNevada. And so this is another search. And this is another thing to note. You cannot own a hashtag. No one owns hashtags. They are all they happen organically. In order to do a hashtag, all you do is the pound sign and then letters. It can be letters or numbers. It cannot be punctuation. So if you do hashtag yes Nevada with an exclamation, the exclamation will break it and it will just still say yes Nevada. So it could be hashtag yes Nevada 1, hashtag yes 1 Nevada, it doesn't matter, letters and numbers only. You also do not put spaces into hashtags because it also breaks it. So otherwise it would be how space to space Nevada, but that's not how hashtags work. So if you see these like long run of phrases, that's why, because otherwise it breaks the hashtag. Yes?
So hashtags are like keywords.
Exactly. Hashtags are keywords. That's the perfect way to describe it.
All one size.
Okay, let me get back to my little guy here. You. Okay, so now that we understand what hashtags are, and if it's still a little cloudy, that is totally okay. I know I'm talking fast. Come talk to me afterwards and I can give you a better description. I think it's really easy once you get in there and see that they become alive. It's a little bit easier to understand. So once we get hashtags out of the way, you want to use these to your advantage. So a lot of photographers who are traveling Nevada want to connect with Travel Nevada and Nevada Magazine in hopes that we maybe will share their photo. Why? Then it also gets all of our followers' eyeballs. We almost have 40,000 followers on a photo you took. That's not every photographer's cup of tea, but especially a lot of up-and-comers who are trying to get their name out love being shared because we also always give photo credit and not try to take credit for someone else's work. So it would really behoove people like that whenever they share a photo they took in Nevada to use not only hashtag DFMI, but also hashtag NVMag. Because then the people like me can go and search those hashtags and share it on behalf of Nevada Magazine with permission, of course, and also obviously for Travel Nevada. One thing you maybe probably don't want to do, I'll get to you in 1 second, is use like generic hashtags. Like hashtag photographer. And here's why. It's not a bad idea in theory, but when it comes into practice, every photographer on the face of the planet who's using Instagram is using hashtag photographer. So there's like more people on Instagram than there are on Twitter. It's a lot. It's like a lot. I don't have the number, but it's a crazy amount. So you want to try to look and strategically and think about the best hashtags for what you're trying to achieve. The main point of hashtags is to make your posts more visible. So for example, REI does a brilliant campaign every year. And last year they did Opt Outside. Did you guys see that campaign?
Yep.
For Black Friday, they closed down their stores and then told people to opt outside instead. They also encouraged their own employees to go outdoors and spend time with their family instead of the like crazy masses on Black Friday, which is awesome. So they told their followers to use hashtag opt outside. And then everyone did. And so now they have a whole cache of outdoors photos using that hashtag, but then people like you could also search that hashtag and maybe find other photographers that you're interested in their work and in hopes they would also be interested in yours. You had a question in the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you post a photo with your copyright on it?
Can you post a photo with your copyright on it? Absolutely.
Okay.
You can post photos with watermarks, copyrights. Dennis?
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
How many hashtags do you use per post?
How many hashtags do you use per post? That's a great question. If you have under 10,000 followers, the general rule of thumb is like 11 to 15. But this is the thing. There's no right or wrong way to do anything, which sucks because you just want someone to tell you what to do and then do it. For people over 10,000, you already have a base, so you don't need to use as much. But as Travel Nevada, the most you can post on one post is 30 hashtags.
And do you use those?
No, I think that's crazy. but it really depends. Like, for example, which place has a lot of hashtags? Okay, so like, have you guys been to Rhyolite? Ghost Town? So for, I can just show you exactly how we would hashtag that. Let me go back to my account. Isn't this a great picture? Who posted that today? I loved it. Okay. Where are you? Okay. Cook Bake Building. So we did hashtag Travel Nevada, hashtag Rhyolite Ghost Town, hashtag Free Range Art Highway. Travel Nevada is promoting road trips, and we say 95 is our Free Range Art Highway. It starts at 7 Magic Mountains, and then we'll take you through Goldwell Open Air Museum and the Car Forest, and Rhyolite's a part of that. Hashtag Death Valley, because it's right at the entrance. Hashtag Beatty, because it's right past Beatty. Hashtag Nevada. Hashtag NV. Hashtag Ghost Town. Hashtag NV Night Skies. Hashtag Nevada Silver Trails. That's the territory it's in. Hashtag My Public Lands, which is BLM's hashtag. Hashtag Road Trip USA, which is Visit the USA's hashtag. And then some more generic ones that we probably think this photo would fit into for other people searching. Outdoors USA, Beautiful Destinations, Travel Stoke, Rhyolite Nevada, Rhyolite NV. So that's a lot. So it almost depends on location and the type of subject that you are photographing. You guys will also notice in all of the photos we post, we do a general caption, then we credit the photographer if it wasn't a staff photographer, and then you see all these dots. Does anyone know why I would do that? Does anyone have an idea? Yeah.
You can't hit return on Instagram posts so that it's separate from the caption to the hashtags?
Yeah. So Instagram,
Can you repeat that, please?
sure. So yes, that's what yeah. So Instagram doesn't like space breaks. It doesn't really allow you to do that, which on the eye is really hard to read, especially you have a lot to say. So you'll notice at the very top, we have a caption, then we use a dot, and that is primarily just to give our eye a break to go to basically the next paragraph. And then I do the bank of hashtags at the very bottom, but I do around like 5. So I'll just do period, enter, period, enter, period, enter, period, enter, period, enter. And then do the hashtags, because on Instagram, if you were to pull up Instagram right now and go to this photo, it only shows the first 150 characters, which is really nice because you want people to read your caption and not your bank of hashtags. So there are 2 schools of thought on this. Some people include the bank of hashtags on their original comment. That's what I do. Some people will post just their caption and then will comment on their own post down here, the bank of hashtags. And that's the thing too. So say you forgot a hashtag, you can just add it as a comment, which is kind of nice because once any post you do on Instagram, if you post a hashtag as a comment, then it will go into that key search result too. Yes?
Can you comment a hashtag on somebody else's post?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can comment hashtags on other people's posts. Yes?
Hashtag DFMI, is that take you to the same account as hashtag Travel Nevada? Are they both the same?
Yeah, so hashtag DFMI is Travel Nevada's brand account. Stands for Don't Fence Me In. But like I said, no one can really own hashtags. So I'll know a lot of photographers maybe want to set up their own hashtag just for fun. So like Dennis, maybe you would do hashtag Dennis in Nevada. And every picture you post in Nevada, you use that hashtag. Then you go to California. And then every California post, you do hashtag Dennis in California. You know, you kind of get this thing. And a lot of people always ask, well, how do I get started? How do I know it's a good hashtag? See this search bar up here? And you can do this on your phone too. You can search hashtags. So let's just search Dennis. Hashtag Dennis. 231,000.
Not me. Yeah, no, no.
So I did a search for hashtag Denison, Nevada. No results found. That means no one, it hasn't come into their brain yet to use that hashtag. So this is actually what you want. You want to find a hashtag that no one else is using that you can kind of claim. And so that's another reason why we as Travel Nevada don't use hashtag Don't Fence Me In. We use DFMI because Don't Fence Me In is the title of a song. And we are trying to use hashtag Don't Fence Me In order to find Nevada-specific content. But people might be listening to the song wherever they live, primarily Montana and Texas. Not that I've looked into it or anything. And so we will, when we first started, to let people know what DFMI means, because that's not a very intuitive acronym either, like what the heck is that? So in our bio, we say DFMI equals Don't Fence Me In. It's more than a song, it's a state of mind. And then to use hashtag DFMI. But if I were to search hashtag don't, oh geez, okay. Fence me in. We've got some Nevada stuff, some not, you know. So it's really, right, so that's why in searching we're like, okay, maybe we can try the acronym, and hashtag DFMI hadn't been used. So we just decided strategically to use that as our claimed official hashtag because it hadn't been used yet. So that's a really good way to kind of search if you want to designate your own hashtag. To see what people are using. And if it's been used, but maybe not in like a year or even 6 months, it's kind of okay too. So that's hashtags in a nutshell. I could probably do a whole symposium on hashtags. Okay, number 4, for your Instagram profile, you want to stay consistent. I know everyone in this room is really looking to have a pink profile, so that's why I threw it up here. This is what we like to call the grid. So if you were to open the Instagram app and you were to click on any one person's account, you find their entire collection of photos. Instagram in the app shows the first 9. So it's always a row of 3, and it shows it in squares. And there's different schools of thought on this as well, but this is mine. I think being consistent will help you in the long run. Even if you shoot a variety of different topics, you maybe want to take a different approach on Instagram to showcase everything in the same tonality or the same type of subject. For example, this Instagrammer obviously does a lot of portraiture with color. It would look really weird if she were to do a night sky shot. It would throw off her grid. And there are ways to get around this, but I think a lot of people just go day to day on what photo they want to share that day and forget this. But if we go back to the slide previously where I just unloaded for an hour and a half on hashtags, you are using a hashtag and then someone maybe would see that one picture and they'd want to see, oh, like, Denison in Nevada, like he's posting a lot of cool stuff. I want to see all of his pictures because you're only seeing the one. If I were to click on his profile and it was all over the place, I'd be like, nah, because I want to follow him for a specific reason. Kurt with Friends of Nevada Wilderness out there, he's at Envy Outdoors. Is that right? Nevada Outdoors?
Yeah, Nevada Outside.
Nevada Outside. Every time I go to his profile, I know what he's posting. It's going to be a wilderness area in Nevada. A great landscape shot. He doesn't share photos of his kids or, his time in Thanksgiving on Instagram, even though he might want to share that with the world. That's not, he has learned probably, that's not what his followers are looking for. His followers have an expectation that he's decided he is this Nevada outdoorsman that has this really cool job and gets to explore all of the backcountry roads of Nevada, and that's what he shares.
Can you rearrange the pictures so it's going to always show the same?
No, you cannot. The question was, if it only shows the first 9, can you rearrange the photos? It will always show the most 9 recent posts you have made, but you can scroll. So that's just what shows up on the phone, but then if you scroll up, you can see the entire feed. But no, there is not a way to change that. But I got you guys in 1 second. There is a really great app. Please write this down. It is later.com. Later.com. It is the most fabulous website if you want to manage your Instagram and you're concerned about how your grid will look. And this is why. Especially for you who are shooting on DSLRs. I know a lot of us use our phones, but a lot of us also use cameras. You can actually use Later to upload your images, and then you can schedule them, and it has this layout where you can actually drag and drop. So say you have 4 really good night sky photos, but maybe you don't want to post them all in a row because it throws off your grid. Maybe most of the time you shoot day shots. So then you can actually drag and drop and see what it would look like before you post it. So that's really cool too. I know a lot of photographers will, after they get back from a big trip and they want to share maybe 15 or so photos, they'll throw them in there and see just aesthetically what looks good and then share based off of that, as opposed to like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this one now. Now I'm gonna do this one. You don't have to restrict yourself to one genre, but you just want to make sure you are consistent. Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Amanda.
You.
I just wondered, you said not to use it for, like, if you're not going to use you're showing your kids, but then you're also showing on photography. Can you do 2 separate accounts?
You could totally do.
Between?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is a really great way to go beyond that. I know a lot of us are photographers, and you know, you have your photography set, but you also have a lot of personal friends on Instagram that you do want to showcase times with family and friends and everything you do in between. You can totally create 2 accounts. A lot of people have a professional account that usually has the name photography in it, and then otherwise just a personal account, and then yeah, use the same hashtags on both, and then you can use your personal to drive traffic to your professional, and then you can use your professional business account to drive traffic to your personal. Because the nice thing too is, depending on what your comfort level is, you can give people an inside scoop of who you are as a person. Because at the end of the day, we're all behind these screens, but we're all human. And it's nice to be able to connect on a human level with people who are like you. That's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is nice. Okay, 5, timing is key. Who here posts once a day? Woo, you're my heroes. Okay. Who here wants to post once a day but can never find the time? Yeah, that's me too. When I mean timing, that means the amount of times you should be posting. Instagram is a finicky network. There used to be a big push where it's called Instagram because it was meant for instant photos. Like you take the picture right now and upload it. It's shifted a little, but during that era, there was a specific hashtag people would use called hashtag Latergram, showing people they didn't take it that day. Instagram really isn't around that anymore, but kind of that stigma still stands. So people don't want to be overwhelmed with photos. Unlike Facebook, it's not like you can upload a bunch of photos into an album and people are really interested in scrolling through. You want to post probably once a day. If you have really, really good content, 2, 3 times maximum. Please don't post more than 3 times because people will be like, oh, I love your stuff, but it's too much. Because Instagram's a weird place. If you don't post once a day and you are on Instagram, I will challenge you to try it. Try it for 30 days and see if your numbers grow. See if you have more engagement, which means people are liking or commenting your posts. See if you get more followers. I am 99.9999999% sure you will. Because this is why. Instagram has a really nasty algorithm because Facebook owns Instagram. And they are trying to do what Facebook did, which is basically showing only content or posts that you regularly engage with, because then you're showing that computer that you're actually interested in that stuff. So the example I always use is Facebook-based, but it's the same. When we all joined Facebook, like, at least when I did a while ago, I liked all the things. I literally liked all the things. I liked Nike. I liked Nevada Magazine. I liked way too many fashion accounts to admit to. But today, I am not seeing like Anthropologie's posts. I'm not seeing Pottery Barn. I'm seeing Nevada Magazine because I comment on their stuff. So, and that's the same thing for Instagram. So it's really important not only to post good pictures, but also you want to entice engagement. So maybe you share a photo and you're not quite sure about it, ask the community and say like, and you can post 2 at a time, it kind of slideshows it, and say which one do you like better? Exactly what Kippy does in the group. You guys have seen those, right? Yeah. So you can do that and just kind of encourage people to engage with you. Everyone in this room has more than enough photos to post once a day. I know that's a big ask, but if you're trying to grow your business, especially if you're trying to grow your business, your photography business, or just your name to hopefully get more business, you gotta post. You gotta post once a day. If you cannot bring yourself to post once a day, post every other day, at the minimum. Okay, number 6, be polite and reply. Okay, so it's probably the most time-consuming aspect of Instagram, but it is really a community. People are really active on there, and like I said when I first started, people aren't spouting off about politics. 15? Okay. That's a lot of time. People aren't spouting on politics there, they're just sharing pictures of their cute dogs and amazing places they've traveled to. And people actually genuinely care what you have to say, and they're not trying to start a fight, which is like the best. It's the best. So people might like your post, it's actually a little heart, or more so, they're going to comment. And if they comment, please reply back. There's a new feature on Instagram where you can actually directly reply underneath. You just open up the comment box, and you will be surprised how much that will do for you. It sucks, especially if you're an amazing photographer and you're getting like all of these comments. That's a good problem to have, but the more receptive you are, and even if it's just like, thanks so much, appreciate it, hey, and then you probably will start forging these friendships online. Has that happened to anyone in this room? Has anyone connected with someone else on Instagram and decided to work together or wanted to work together and collaborate? Yeah, that's happened to me too. And it's like really weird, it's like, we're in the future, but it's happening. Okay. And last, this is like a mini series. This is another way to add your own personal flair without messing up your feed. These are stories. Who's heard of Instagram stories? Okay, who's heard of Snapchat? Who has no idea what Snapchat is? Cool. Instagram Snapchat stole Snapchat's idea, and the idea of Snapchat was basically to share little moments that would, once you view them, they're just poof, gone back into the cloud or God knows where. Probably on some massive server and we're all being spied on, but that's a whole other issue. So Instagram also introduced what they call Instagram stories, and it is a really cool way to showcase things you maybe want to share with your community or your own friends without actually posting in your own feed. So here's how. Okay. So if you guys have the Instagram app, I'm going to try to make this interactive. So if you don't mind pulling out your phones, And we're all gonna, if you don't use Instagram, maybe if someone could raise their hand who would be, let people share and just look. Because I am a visual learner, and I think it helps. So open up Instagram, and you're gonna wanna go to the home screen, which is the little house. It's on the bottom left. There should be. Is everyone there? No. One more minute? Okay. So you're opening up the Instagram app. Welcome. Opening up the Instagram app, and then there's a little home on the left. It's popped off here, but this is what it looks like for those of you who don't use Instagram. On the top left is this little black and white camera icon. You guys all see that? Okay. You're going to click on it, or tap on it. I guess we don't click on phones, right? And then it should shift to like a black screen. Do you guys have a little camera now? Okay. Take a picture of whatever you want. Your face, you can do a selfie. You can take a picture of your pants, it does not matter. Take a picture of me. Alright, does everyone have a picture? Okay. So, this is how you do a story. If you didn't want to take a picture, if you hit that, if you messed up, you'll see that little X in the top left. It should be where this cogwheel is. And at the bottom, there are other options. Normal, if you just click it, it's a photo. If you hold it down, it will take a video up to 15 seconds. If you swipe right, it will enable you to do a thing called boomerang, which is a quick video, and then it reverses it, so it makes you look like a little animated crazy person, because it's me. So you guys took a photo. You took a photo. Say you maybe want to post a photo in there that you've already previously taken. This took me a while to achieve, so don't be disheartened if it doesn't work for you on the first try, but let's practice. Okay, so you should have the little circle at the bottom. So go back and we're going to pretend we're taking a picture again, okay? So but instead of taking a picture, underneath there's like a little arrow. You want to swipe that up. And you should get a gallery of photos you've taken. Did that work? It took me a few times. Can you turn the lights on for me, someone? If you haven't taken pictures, they won't show up. So if you can see me, it's like, if you're on an iPhone, it's right above the home screen. There's like a tiny little arrow. You're going to swipe that up, and then it should pull up a gallery. Is that happening for people? Cool. So Instagram only allows you to post photos on stories that you've taken in the last 24 hours. So unlike Snapchat, which is if you were to send a picture, once you view it, it automatically goes away. Once you post to an Instagram story, it stays up for 24 hours. If you didn't take a picture in the last 24 hours, but you still want to share it, all you have to do is just download it to your phone, and then it will be there too. So like you can pull it from your Facebook and resave it. I use Google Photos as my cloud storage. Wherever you keep your photos, you can just resave it, and then it tricks Instagram, because Instagram's kind of dumb, and pretend that you took it in the last 24 hours. Okay, but we're just going to go back to a photo. So we're just going to take a picture, and now we're going to caption it. So this is obviously all pretend. You will be sharing a pretty photo, not a blurry photo like I just wonderfully took. But we are going to mention Nevada Magazine. So on the very top right, you should see a capital A and a lowercase a on your app. Are you guys seeing that?
Okay.
After you took a photo? So you're going to click on that,
Share the Facebook.
and then it will bring up a cursor. And we are going to do @ Nevada _ magazine. Should look like this. I'll walk around. So the A's are, you're gonna go here to get your text. And then you can type Nevada_magazine.
That's somebody I follow. And that's just. Let's go.
There you go.
The whole version.
Yep. Nevada_magazine.
Okay, so then post rest.
Got it.
Okay. Does anyone have questions under here?
Well, I got it.
That's okay.
That's so funny.
Let me show you. Don't you go home. That's great.
It's just you thinking it's you, but it's a great shot.
Type Okay, and again, I'm sharing this presentation, so if you don't look it up right now, that's totally okay, because you'll have written instructions. So then, if you want to share it, you say next, done, or there's that little plus sign that says add to your story. You can do that, or we can snazz it up a little bit more. So once you're done with the text, it should go back to the picture you took. It has the text you have on it, and then there's a little pen icon. That's where you can draw. There's also the little happy face icon. Those are called stickers. It will pull up a little option where you can basically doodle on your photo. And then if you swipe, and I know I'm going fast and I'm losing people, but it's okay because I'm sending this to you. It will give you different photo filters, which is kind of fun. So then when you're all done, you're gonna hit next, and then your story will appear at the top. Go back to your feed. So if you go back to your home feed, do you see on the very top circle accounts that have the pink/reddish bar around them looking like this? If you're on home, you guys see that? No one's seeing it. No one's seeing it. All right, close the app, reopen the app. We're gonna go where we just started. So just like we pretended to do the story. So when you open Instagram, on the bottom there's a menu. You wanna click the house on the very left. Is everyone there? So that's your like home feed. On the very top, do you see a section that says stories? And then there's all of those accounts that have the red circle around them. Those are accounts that have done stories themselves. And if you want to watch stories, that's how you do it. So I'm going to let you play for a second. Go ahead and click on one. And they should run. Yeah, it's okay if there's sound. So a video will run for 15 seconds. I think a photo is like 3 seconds. But the point of Instagram stories is they only live for 24 hours. And especially as photographers, they're a really good way to showcase behind the scenes. Maybe you're Neil Lockhart and you're like driving out into the middle of nowhere to take a picture of a truck in the middle of nowhere. And you want to tell people that you're going out into the middle of nowhere. You might maybe want to do a story and you take a picture of your gear that you're taking out. And then you could use the text tool and say, heading out for another Grand Nevada adventure, follow along. And then you're like 50 miles in and you have to stop and get gas. And so then you take a picture of the gas tank and say like, filling up, you don't want to go out into Nevada with no gas. And so you really are telling a story. So each time you do a post, it automatically will upload. And then say you want to post again to your story, then that one will autoplay directly after your first post. It's a lot to take in. I totally understand that. But stories have the most engagement ever. And if you don't want to create 2 accounts because like you barely have time to create 1 Instagram account, which I think a lot of us can relate to, stories are a really good way to kind of showcase an unedited, unfiltered version of yourself to kind of give your followers a different insight into what you are doing on the day-to-day basis. I took photos this morning. I haven't posted them yet of the coffee. I can't function without coffee. And I was going to post an Instagram story saying I was excited to be here and like, thank God there's coffee. So it doesn't have to be anything meaningful, or it can be totally meaningful. We're about to do a tour with media for Travel Nevada. It's called Grit and Gravel. We're taking a bunch of outdoorsy journalists, some people from Outdoors Magazine, there's a few bloggers, and we're taking them rock climbing. They're going OHV riding down in southern Nevada. That's happening in a few days. Travel Nevada will be posting a story, basically giving a behind-the-look scenes, a behind-the-look of what it goes into taking these journalists on a tour, and then also how people can get involved. And then after the trip, I'll take the best of the best pictures and then actually post them on our Instagram feed. So it's another good opportunity to show a photo you like, or maybe just want to share, but it doesn't really fit in what you're doing otherwise. Lastly, once you post the story, you can click on the story. So if this was us, if I was Benjamin, I could click on that little circle right there and it would open your own story that you posted so you can watch it. Once you're watching it, if you swipe up, it will pull up a little bit of analytics, and it will show you how many people have viewed it and who it was exactly. So you can kind of gauge, are people even watching, and they will be. So I know that was a lot. That was a lot. I'm going to share this. I am also available for questions, just not this week because tomorrow I am flying out to Montreal to give a social media presentation in Quebec. So, thank you, and do we have room for questions?
15 minutes.
I have one really basic question. You definitely went way past me.
I did, I know. Please, yes.
How come Instagram crops my picture when I try to post something? If I want to post a long line, landscape, it turns it into a square and cuts out half the stuff. How do I stop it?
That is a great question. For those of you who didn't hear, it was why does Instagram crop my pictures? I want to post a landscape, but it crops it into a square. There is a solution for you, and there are 2 ways to do it. So if you open up Instagram, and unlike sharing on stories, you're just going to post a picture. So you do that little plus in the middle. I'm going to use my amazing selfie. You guys look really good. And then on the very left, there's an expand button. Do you see that, Lee? So if you click on that, that'll expand to the full. Sometimes that's still in your own feed. It only previews in squares, which is also frustrating because you can't tell Instagram where you want to crop it. So just let it go. I know a lot of us are perfectionists. Just let it go. Because then once you click on here, that's not a good example. Then it will show the full, like, here's an example where it was a full horizontal image of Bonsai Rock. I know I'm small up here, but then in the preview it crops to the square. And there are photography apps, smartphone apps, where you can then add in a hard white or black background to showcase your full photo. And if that's a style you want to do, that's totally fine. The nice thing is if you post vertical pictures, it will take up the full screen. See if I can find one. I'll find one and show you. So.
We have questions later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just not this week. I mean, email me this week, but I will not get back to you. I'll be abroad. Yes. Sorry, I can't. Do you want to come up?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Something that that I find useful, if you're a photographer who uses hashtags a lot, is put them in your notes in your phone and you don't have to, I'm a terrible typist. So if you have like hashtag TNT photographic memory, hashtag TNT photography, hashtag Christy Tolbert, all the way down, put those in your phone. Then when you go to hashtag something, just go grab them, copy and paste them, and you're done. So just one.
No, that's great. That's a great idea. Everyone has notes on their phone, whether you are an Android or an iPhone user. It's really nice to be able to type your caption in there, because then you're not having to work in the Instagram user phase, because my thumbs are fat and it's so frustrating because I'm like a typo queen. So it's nice, exactly that. And then you can have specific hashtags based on the type of content you use, and then just copy and paste them into it. Neil has had his hand up forever. Yes?
The biggest reason I don't use Instagram is, and I'm sorry if you've already covered this, but is there a way to post from the computer?
Yes, later.com.
What is it?
Later.com.
Later.com.
It's free. You can post up to 30 images a month for free. The only thing was going back to Instagram's roots, the Insta part, Instagram really wants you to be in the moment, which is funny because it's a social network. But they they want you to be on this thing because they're anticipating you're like out in the world doing it right now. My favorite website to use is later.com, and able to then upload your photos from your computer and share. They have their own app. It is also free. Instagram does not let you like schedule posts technically. So you'll download the app and then you can put it in later, and then the app will notify you when it's ready to go, and then it automatically uploads onto the app. So it's really, really easy, and it's the best platform. I can't speak highly enough of it. And it also lets you overlook your grid, too.
When you say an app, though, that sounds like it's on the phone again. I mean, I want to go right from my computer to Instagram.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
So that's the workaround, and it takes 1 second.
You're saying you can't?
No. No, Instagram is mobile only.
Okay.
But if you use later, you can you know what? Can I just show you guys really quick? Are you guys interested? Yeah. Okay. He's gonna yell at me. So it's later.com. You sign in using your Instagram login. And we're in a government building with government internet, and it's gonna take forever. Are there other questions while it loads? Yeah.
You had a bunch of hashtags listed for people who saw Nevada magazine, so they could go to those other hashtags. How would you know what hashtags to put in there? Is there a search function that will help you, or just know it?
That's a great question. The question was, how do you know what hashtags to use? It takes a little bit of a discovery detective work. I would say start with maybe brand accounts or photographers you admire and see what hashtags they use. And then you can kind of go down this wormhole. If you shoot the outdoors, REI is a really good place to start. They're just at REI. See what hashtags they use. And then from there, they might use a hashtag beautiful destinations. You can click on there and then see what other photographers are using. So there's no like mega storage resource of what hashtags to use where. You just kind of have to figure it out on your own, unfortunately. Okay, we're back in, so I'm going to get to you in a second, but I want to show you guys later. So I'm going to sign in via Instagram. To Travel Nevadas. Page cannot load. Okay. That's annoying, it's not going to let me. Well, Neil, I will email you afterwards because I totally understand the hardship of shooting, and you're not shooting on this, you're shooting on a camera, but you still
If my camera would just have a phone on it, I can just
There we go. There we go. Okay, sir, yeah.
I've worked with some media consultants, my wife is starting a business, but we've been told that there are algorithms in Instagram that if you have more than 5 hashtags, it doesn't get visibly seen. The fewer hashtags you have, the better exposure that is happening.
That's not true. There is a thing in Instagram called Instagram shadow ban. Have you guys heard of that? Cool. Basically, Instagram is trying to lock down on people abusing hashtags. So a really great example is hashtag Vegas. Everyone and their mom uses hashtag Vegas to promote whatever they've got going on in Vegas, especially club promoters. It's so annoying. And because it's Vegas and the type of content people are sharing, a lot of it is lewd content as well. So hashtag is trying to combat that, and because the hashtag itself is almost being abused, you can still use that hashtag, but your photo won't show up in that feed. So that is like a whole nother can of worms. But no, you can use up to 30 hashtags. You don't need to use 30. You only use hashtags that are relatable to the content that you're sharing. I would say stick between like 11 and 15 or fewer. Yes?
Is Instagram business profiles the same as Facebook? Nobody will see it if you don't pay?
Is Instagram profiles the same as Facebook? No one will see it if you don't pay. No. The business page. No. The big thing, Instagram, although they are owned by Facebook, they are in a different building. I have visited them personally. And just like YouTube was also acquired by Google. They are trying to stay to their core. They're trying to be not Facebook, even though they're owned by Facebook. But that is why it's really about engagement. If you are posting all the time, great, because people will probably be engaging with you, but you can't expect to post once a week and get the same engagement as if you were posting every day. So you really have to take a strategic approach to Instagram, but it's definitely much more visible than Facebook, which is why I recommend Instagram to photographers, because they can actually get their work out there and be seen. Neil?
Is there a better time of day to post than any other time?
Is there a better time of day to post than any other time? That is a great question. And 10 different blogs will tell you 10 different things. It really depends on your own audience. For us as Travel Nevada, we are trying to promote people probably on the Western Hemisphere. In order to go to the places that we're trying to get people to go to, you can't really fly in unless you have like a private jet and you're flying into Winnemucca. You're really driving. So we try to hit people in California, Idaho, who are on Pacific Coast time. So I try to post either first thing in the morning, because if you are an Instagram user, you might be guilty of before getting out of bed scrolling your Instagram feed. Is anyone guilty of that beyond me? How about Facebook? Who's guilty? Yeah. So I like to post early in the morning. Just think about human day-to-day activity and when people probably are spending more time on their phone. So if you were to post 3 times a day, I always recommend first thing in the morning when people are looking before they're getting up and procrastinating, getting dressed for the morning, probably around lunchtime, like 11 to 2. And then after dinner, when people are back in bed or they're watching TV and they're looking at 3 screens at once. So if you have an Instagram business profile, which is also free, and that's something good to note, you can have a personal profile, totally fine. The only difference is if you create it and convert it to a business profile, then you can run ads, and you also get built-in analytics. But if you, either way, you just, I lost my train of thought. Shoot, I'm done. One more, Dennis. No.
You don't let them use that. You fill the blocks in?
No. I write them myself.
You write every one yourself?
Yep. Yeah. Sorry, I'm cut off.